Hey guys, what's up? I'm Tucker. Today I have 5 Square-1 walkthrough solves. The last couple of times I made walkthrough solves videos, I was a lot more inefficient and overall just worse, and I feel like this video is long overdue, so I thought, why not make it now? Okay, so for this first solve, I have kite pawn, and since the equator's flipped, I can flip it over and now it'll just make the alg better. I traced odd, which is the better alg for this case. There's 2 ways I can solve this. I can either do kind of like a D2U and then solve it like this into shield square. Instead, what I think would be a better solution to do is kind of doing a -4 on top and then slice and into this case, and then slice like that, solve cube shape, and then I have pretty simple CO into 1-1. Now, what I would actually do here is I would use an alternate alg because I would want to avoid a D2, and the alternate alg goes like this. Just like that. And here I have a pretty bad case, but I can solve it in a really cool way. How I can do this is by preserving this little block right here, and with the H I can do NN. And now I have JN, and since the equators are solved, I'll do an alternate alg which goes like this. For this next scramble, I have barrel shield, and I'm gonna flip it over once again because the equator's flipped. And I traced even, which for me is the better way to solve it. I'm gonna hold it like this, where the 2 pairs of edges are on the right, and the barrel's like this. And how I'm gonna solve it is by doing slice, and then move this over, and then slice down, and now we have shield shield. And now we have this CO, which I would solve like this, into line L, which I would solve like this, just like that. And now I have a pretty nice PBL here. I could do a 5 slicer, but I don't know the 5 slicers, so what I would do here is preserve these blocks and do a JJ, and then I have AJ, and then UD. And I wouldn't do this in a solve, but if you're wondering, the 5 slicer for this case goes like this. And then UD prime. So for this case, we have muffin pawn, and I would flip it over like this and trace with a pawn on top, and I traced odd, which in my opinion is the better alg when it comes to execution. But what I would do is a 6 on top, and then a slice, and then pair this edge pair like this to make scallop scallop, and then solve it like this. Then I have a nice CO into a pretty good EO, which I would solve like this. LL, it's one of the best EOs, and then I have JG, and what I would do in a solve is solve it like this, JJ into U perm on bottom. A better way you can solve this though is by holding it just like this and doing a NN, and now you have JJ with flip. For the 4th solve, I traced even, which is the better alg, and how I would solve this is moving the scallop right here and having the shield right here, and then bringing this little pair of edges up, and then moving this over so I can pair this together, and then scallop scallop. Then I have a 1 slice CO into LL, which is really good, and right here I have TG. And what I would do in a solve is JJ into UZ. Once again, a better way to solve this case would be by holding the T like this with the bar in front and misaligned, and holding this bar right here as well as the bottom misaligned. And then you would do JN, and then you get JJ with flip. So for this last solve, I have kite shield, and I would flip it over like this because the equator's flipped, and I traced odd, and odd, you set this kite with the pair of edges in front, and then move this over, and then I would do slice to slice, and then shield square. Then I would solve CO like this into 1-1. And then this is a really cool thing I can do right here. So I can actually do EP before CP. So if I do CP right here, I'm going to get op W. It would be good if the equator was flipped, but it's not, so it's pretty bad. So what I can actually do is, if you recognize, if you do an adj right here, it'll force a J perm. So what I can actually do is do adj W before I do CP by doing adj and then a Z perm on bottom. And then I get a J on top. So I hope you all enjoyed these 5 Square-1 walkthrough solves. I hope you learned something. If you want to see more walkthrough solves, let me know in the comments, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.